Today we're talking about trinomials with a leading coefficient. Leading coefficient means that there is a number in front of your squared term. Okay? Some of you may have learned the method bottoms up. I usually call it bottoms up over under. Because how we're going to teach it, you have to go over and under and then bring your bottoms up. So I just like everything to be in it. Okay? There's also the guess and check method. Use which method you like best. Just because I teach you to do something a certain way doesn't mean that there isn't another way that's going to get you the same answer. Okay? I'm okay with you using different methods. I'm just going to teach it this way because you will always get the correct answer if you follow the steps. Okay, so what do we always check for first when we are factoring? GCF. Always check for that first, okay? Is there a GCF in this problem? No. So, since I still have a leading coefficient, we are going to go over by whatever number is in front. So, in this case, 2 is in front, and so we're taking 2 over to the last term. Okay? And you multiply the first and third term numbers together. 2 times 15 makes what? So all we did was we removed this 2 and we brought it to the 15 and put them together. So we end up making a new equation, x squared plus 13x plus 30, because we multiplied the 2 and the 15 together to make the 30. Now this is where it is the same type of factoring as we've been doing already. So remember that our 13 is our adding number and our 30 is our multiplying number. Now, I've told you guys this before, but I highly recommend that you always list all the numbers that multiply to be this number. The reason is, sometimes there is more than one number that multiplies, or more than 2 numbers that multiply to become 30. If you always start with 1 and go through like 1, 2, 3, 4, you'll get all of the numbers that work. So in this case, 1 times 30 is 30. 2 times 15. 3 times 10. Can 4 times something work? 5? 5 times 6. Now if you look through here, do you see any numbers that can add or subtract to make 13? Good, you have 2 and 15 and 3 and 10. Now one of these won't work. How would you make 13 with 15 and 2? You would subtract 2. And 15 minus 2 does make 13. But when you multiply it, it makes what? Negative 30, and this number is a... So this one's out. We can't do that. Okay? Now with 3 and 10, what do you do to make 13? You just add them. Both of them positives. And both positive numbers multiply to be positive 30, so we found the pair that works. So we write that in. We have x plus 3 and x plus 10. Now, if you were to re-multiply this out, FOIL it, you would end up getting back to x squared plus 13x plus 30, which is not my original problem. This is my original problem, right? So, since I went over by 2, you also need to go under by 2. Whatever number you go over by, you go under by that number. So I'm going to rewrite my x plus 3 here and my x plus 10. And here I'm going under by 2 with each of those terms. And you always try to reduce, okay? Can 3 over 2 reduce? No. Can 10 over 2 reduce? Yes. Yes. What does that reduce to? 5. Okay, so this reduces to 5. So when we write this, I'm just going to write this again. X plus 3 over 2. Oops. 3 over 2, and x plus 5. And this last part is that if you have a bottom number, you move your bottom up. So this 2, this bottom number, gets moved up in front of the x. So I end up with 2x plus 3 and x plus 5. And this is my answer. Now, you should always double check your work. And the easiest way to double check your work on a problem like this is to go back to your original problem, okay, which is right here. and you take your first two numbers in the parentheses. Okay? 2x and x. Do those multiply to be 2x squared? Yes. 3 times 5. Do those multiply to be 15? Yes, I factored it correctly. So you check your multiplication with just your first terms for the first term, your last terms for the last term. If it didn't work, you did something wrong and you need to go back and check. Like maybe you forgot to reduce or something like that. Okay? All right, let's try example 1. What do we always check for first? GCF. Is there one? No. So we take our number in front and we multiply to the back. We're going over by 2. So I end up with x squared plus 7x plus 6. What numbers multiply to be 6? 1 and 6 and 2 and 3. But which ones will make a positive 7? 1 and 6, and they'll both be positive. Good. So we write out our factors. We have x plus 1 and we have x plus 6. Now if I check right now, x times x does not make 2x squared, does it? So right now I know I've done something wrong. What have I forgotten to do? Good. I have to go under by 2. So we are going under by 2 to each of these numbers. Can 1 over 2 reduce?
No.
No. Can 6 over 2 reduce?
Yes.
Yes. To what? 3. So now, anything that did not reduce, we bring the bottom up. So I'm bringing 2 up. Okay, so that means I have 2x plus 1. And this one reduced, so I just have x plus 3. We double check our answers. 2x times x makes 2x squared. 1 times 3 makes 3. And I know I did it correctly. This is my answer. Okay, you think you're ready to try one on your own yet?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's see what you can do. Okay, so the correct answer was 3x minus 1 and 2x minus 5. Most of you got it correct. A few of you didn't because you forgot to reduce. So I'm going to go through this real quick. So we go over by 6. We rewrite this as x squared minus 17x plus 5. Nope, not 5. Oh my goodness, 30. Okay, what numbers multiply to be 30? 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10, 5 and 6. Which ones work?
15 and 2.
Perfect. And they will be what?
Both negative.
Both negative. Why?
Because they have to equal negative 17.
Good. You add them to make negative 17. They multiply to be positive 30. So that means I have x minus 2 and x minus 15. And now I need to do what? Under by 6. Because you go under by the same number you went over by. So under by 6 to both these terms. And then we reduce. What number goes into both 2 and 6? 2. So this becomes 1 over 3. What about 15 and 6? Is there a number that goes into both? 3. So that becomes 5 over 2. Both of these have bottoms that I need to bring up. I get 3x minus 1, and I get 2x minus 5. Double check our answers. 3x times 2x makes a positive 6x squared. Negative 1 times negative 5 makes a positive 5. So this is the correct answer. All right, moving on. Example 3. What do we always check for first?
GCF.
Is there a GCF?
Yes.
Yes, a lot of people, they're like, oh, we're doing this type of homework. It's going to be over, under, bottoms up, and you'll end up getting the wrong answer because you should have a GCF of 2 in front. So we take our GCF of 2 and we get x squared plus 2x minus 3. Do I need to use my over, under, bottoms up method? No. We are just going to figure out what adds to be 2 and multiplies to be negative 3. What numbers multiply to be 3? Good. Which one is going to be negative? The 1. Good. Why? Sign of the bigger number. Exactly. Perfect. You subtract sign of the bigger number, we want 2 to be positive. So when we write this out, we still have 2 in front. And then I have x minus 1 and x plus 3. And that is my answer. All right, example 4. Do you guys want to try this one on your own? Okay, I'm going to give you about 45 seconds. Oh, you guys are so quick. Perfect. Perfect. Amazing. You did it. Okay. All right. So we have a pretty smart class. The correct answer is 4x plus 7 and x plus 1. We go over by 4. X squared plus 11x plus 28. Okay? What numbers did you get that worked for 28?
7 and 4.
7 and 4. X plus 7. X plus 4. If I checked right now, does not work. I forgot to do something. What did I forget?
Divide by 4.
Good. Under by 4. We divide by 4 and reduce. Can this reduce?
No.
No. Can this reduce?
Yes.
Yes. We bring this bottom up. We get 4x plus 7. And here I get x plus 1. Double check. 4x times x is 4x squared. 7 times 1 is 7. Questions? Did I go too fast? All right, number 5. We had a problem like this yesterday. Okay, so you have this rectangular prism. The volume is this equation. They're telling you if this side right here, AE, is 4, find the area. How do you find the volume of something? Length times width times height. So they're multiplying 3 things together, okay, to get the volume. They're saying if you divide this 4 out of here, you'll get what 2 things we're multiplying together, which is area. Because area is just your base times height, which is the same thing. You could do one of these as your base, right? Width is the same as base. Okay? So in order to get the answer for the area, we just have to divide out the 4. We have to divide out one of the sides. So we take 8x squared plus 20x plus 12, and we divide everything by 4. When you do that, we get 2x squared plus 5x plus 3. That is your answer for A. That is your area. Now, B says find the possible lengths for your AB and your BC. So what they're wanting us to do is they want us to take this area and separate it into two pieces. Well, how can I take this and separate it into two pieces? By factoring, exactly, which we've been doing. Okay, so how am I gonna have to factor this one? Is there another GCF? No, so I'm going to, very good, carry the 2 over. We get x squared plus 5x plus 6. What numbers multiply to be 6? 1 and 6 and 2 and 3. Both of those numbers can make 5, can't they? Which one are we going to use though? Good, because this would have to be a negative, which would make that a negative, which is not correct. So when we factor, I get x plus 2 and x plus 3. What do I do next?
Divide by 2.
Very good. Divide by 2 and we reduce. These cancel. I get x plus 1. This one?
2x plus 3.
Good. We get 2x plus 3. And this here is my answer for B. Are there any questions?